we put on the armor of God and we stand strong against the evil ones. First we put the belt of truth. Then the breastplate of right makes it secure and loose. Then you strap on the sandals of peace. Then you're picking up the shield of faith. Don't forget the helmet of salvation. Then the sword of spirit so we can go crazy. Come on!
Peace, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the spirit. Okay, so what me and Josh did with this song, that will help you guys to be able to sing in the morning after your prayer, so that you guys can always have the full armor of God wherever you go. It's very easy.
So the full armor of God, okay?
Guys. If you guys want to send me videos of you guys doing the song, I'll be very happy that we can play it for next week. Yeah? Alright, love you guys. Let's do this. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Alright, that's awesome. Let's go.
So we put it on the armor of God and we stand strong against the evil one. So we put it on the armor of God and we stand strong against the evil one. So you first put the belt of truth. Then the breastplate of righteousness, make sure it ain't loose. Then you strap on the sandals of peace. Then you picking up the shield of faith. Don't forget the helmet of salvation. Then the sword of the spirit, so we can go crazy. Yeah, so we put on the armor of God and we stand strong against the evil one. So we put on the armor of God. Let's do it again. Yeah. So first things first, we put the belt of truth. Then the breastplate of righteousness, make sure it ain't loose. Then you pick up the shield of faith. Then, again. So we put it on. So we put on. Okay. Alright. So first things first, you put the belt of truth. Then the breastplate of righteousness, make sure it ain't loose. Then you strap it on the sandals of peace. Then you picking up the shield of faith. Don't forget the helmet of salvation.
Good stuff, guys.
Then the sword of the
Great
spirit,
job.
so we can go crazy.
Crazy!
So
Yeah.
we put it on the armor of God, then we stand strong against the evil one. So we put it on the armor of God, then we stand strong against the evil one. Armor of God.
Armor of God.
Armor of God, hey, hey. Armor of God, hey,
Hey.
Armor of God.
Hey Destiny Kids, it's me Akosa. I hope you're having a wonderful time at home. Remember to check on each other and I hope you're putting on the armor of God and staying strong against the evil one. Today we are going to be learning about obedience and we're going to show you a short clip of what obedience means to us. So see you soon.
The Holy Tales.
Hello, my name is Tubby. I live here in this wonderful library and I love to eat books. I live here with my friends Gumbo and Freckles. Gumbo, Freckles, come out, wherever you are. Over there, on that great book, is Grand Old Holy. She is really old and wise and tells us wonderful stories when she is awake, that is. Oh, and we love to sing.
Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, Jericho, Jericho. Joshua fought the battle of
of Jericho, and the walls came tumbling down.
Good afternoon, children.
Hello, Holly. It's time for you to tell us a story. Yes, it's story time.
Well, today I shall tell you a story about how God was angry with the Israelites and thought of punishing them. Long ago, the people of Israel found it very difficult to follow the first commandment of God. It was hard for them to worship a God who could not be seen. They needed to learn how to do it. So they all went to Aaron, Moses' brother, and told him to make a god for them. This would make it easier for them to worship. So Aaron said,
"Bring me all the gold earrings that your wives, daughters, and sons are wearing."
The people got him all that he asked for. Aaron melted the earrings and poured them into a mold and made a golden calf. He also built an altar in front of the calf and said,
"There shall be a festival to honor the Lord."
The next morning, the people gathered to honor the golden calf. This angered God because the people had not followed his commandment of not worshipping idols. He wanted to punish them for not listening to him and breaking the first commandment. Moses pleaded to God not to be angry with them and that he would go and talk to the people himself. Moses came to the place where the people were worshipping the golden calf. He took the golden calf, melted it, ground it into fine powder, and mixed it with water. Then he made the people of Israel drink it till no signs of the idol remained. Now you know, children, that you should listen to what God tells you and try not to disobey him.
Yes, we know, and we all love God.
So today's question is, what did Aaron make out of the gold earrings?
He made a golden calf for the people to worship.
Very good, Freckles.
All right then. Should we begin with the story? Well, today's story is called The Jonah and the Whale. Long time ago, there lived a man called Jonah. Jonah was a prophet who lived in Israel. One day, God appeared to Jonah.
"Jonah, I want you to go to the city of Nineveh and warn the people there. Tell them that I am going to destroy all of them and their city if they do not stop disobeying me."
Jonah was not very happy with the job God asked him to do. Nineveh was a city full of bad people, and Jonah knew that. He was very scared to go there. So instead of going to Nineveh, he decided to go the other way, which would take him far, far away from Nineveh. He hoped God would pick someone else to do this particular job of warning the people there. Jonah got onto a ship, which was going to the farthest city he could find. He was feeling really tired. So Jonah went down to the bottom of the ship to take a quiet nap. God was very angry with Jonah, for he had disobeyed him. He knew exactly where Jonah was. He caused an enormous storm to come up. The sailors on the ship were afraid that the storm would sink their ship. They started throwing everything into the sea to lighten their ship. The storm got worse. They started praying to God to save them. Jonah knew what the problem was, and he also knew that there was only one thing to do. God would not stop the storm until Jonah did not do the job God asked him to do. So Jonah asked the sailors to throw him into the sea. He knew God was there with him to protect him. The sailors did what Jonah asked them to do, and immediately the storm quietened and all was calm. The sailors were astonished. They had no idea what was happening. In the sea, Jonah sank deeper and deeper. But God had different plans for him. He did not want Jonah to drown. He only wanted him to obey his orders. So, God sent a huge fish to swallow Jonah to take him down to the sea. Jonah felt very scared. He prayed to God for forgiveness for disobeying him. Finally, after 3 days being inside the dark, stinky belly of the fish rose up to the top of the sea and spit Jonah out onto the shore. Jonah then went to the city of Nineveh and told them to stop doing all the bad work that they were doing, as this was making God very angry. The people of the city believed Jonah, and God saved them.
Oh my! How did Jonah even manage to live inside the stinky belly of the fish for 3 whole days?
That's because God was there to protect him. So, did you kids enjoy the story?
Oh yes, we loved it. Thank you for the wonderful story, Holy.
Yes. This story should be interesting. The story is about why God chose a new king after Saul.
Okay, let's begin with the story then.
God chose Saul as the first king of Israel, but unfortunately, Saul always did not make good decisions. Once, Israel was in an ugly war with the Philistines, and for 7 days, Saul and his men hid at a place called Gilgal, where they waited for Samuel to arrive, as that was what Samuel had asked them to do. The Israelite soldiers were so afraid to fight the Philistines that they started fleeing, one at a time. So Saul decided to take matters in his own hand and offered a burnt sacrifice to God. The moment he finished with the sacrifice, Samuel arrived and asked,
"What are you doing?" "My men are afraid to fight the Philistines, and they are starting to run away. I had to stop them. I was seeking God's help because without His help, it is impossible to fight the war."
If you had obeyed God's command, then He would have made you the king of Israel forever. But now that you have disobeyed Him, your reign must end, as God has already chosen a new king whose heart follows His.
Samuel said. Another time, Saul once again disobeyed God by not destroying the Amalekites as he was ordered. Instead, he captured the king and let his own soldiers take a lot of cattle and sheep. When Samuel challenged his disobedience, Saul had an excuse.
"Yes, I have brought back the king, but the rest of the nation is all wiped out. We brought back the best of sheep and cattle to use them to make our sacrifices to God. He wants our sacrifices."
Yes, He wants our sacrifices, but He wants obedience more, and you have disobeyed Him. It is obedience that pleases God.
Samuel said firmly. God was done with Saul's excuses, and he chose a new king for Israel, who Samuel would anoint very soon.
Saul shouldn't have disobeyed God and should have followed His commands.
Yes, but he didn't.
So, what is today's question, Holy?
Today's question is, with whom did the Israelites get into an ugly battle?
The Amalekites? No, the Philistines.
Are you sure, Freckles?
Yes, I think so. Am I wrong?
No, you are correct.
All right. Today, I shall tell you the story of the Tower of Babel. There was a time when the earth was filled with evil. So God decided to destroy everyone and everything except one good man, Noah and his family. Over time, the descendants of Noah spread around the world and settled in the land of Shinar. At that time, everyone spoke the same language. One day, the people of Shinar decided to make a great tower that would reach the heavens and a fine city out of bricks for themselves. They thought that by doing so, they would become very powerful and other people would envy them. They would no longer have to live in the countryside either. One day, God decided to visit. When he saw what the people were doing, he was very sad. The people were no longer loyal or pure-hearted. They had greed in their hearts. God knew that once the tower was built, there would be no end to their greed. Nothing could stop them. So God decided to confuse the language of all the people there. People would no longer be able to understand each other, and the building of the tower came to a stop. The tower came to be called as the Tower of Babel, which got its name from the babbling sound everyone made when they were talking. The people of Shinar stopped building the tower and moved away in all directions. Now, for the question, what was the name of the land when Noah's descendants settled?
We know. They settled in the land of Shinar, right?
That is correct, children. Today I am going to tell you the story of the call of Gideon. As time passed, people forgot their God and had started praying to other gods. This made God angry and sad. So he sent the army of Midianites to punish them. The Midianites were strong tribesmen who raided their farms and stole their crops and animals. For 7 years, the Midianites kept going to the city of the Israelites and attacking them and destroying their farms. The Israelites were tired and hurt. So after 7 years, they finally went to the God of their ancestors. They prayed,
Lord, we are foolish people. Please forgive us and help us in our time of need.
God relented and visited Gideon, a poor farmer's son. God said,
Gideon, you are to drive the army of Midianites out of the city. But first, you must destroy every place of worship of other gods. If you do that, I promise you will win.
Gideon promised to drive out the Midianites. He had a small army of only 300 people. He was scared that the soldiers would not be enough to defeat the strong Midianites. Gideon knew that God was on their side, and also he was clever. He thought of attacking the Midianites' camp at night. He gave each of his soldiers a trumpet and a torch hidden in a jug. As night set, the army of Gideon got ready to attack. On his signal, the soldiers broke the jugs and blew the trumpets. All the noise and the lights gave an impression that a very big army was attacking. The Midianites got scared and ran away and never came back. So, are you ready for the question?
Yes, we are.
Who did God choose to drive out the Midianites?
I know this answer. God chose Gideon.
That is right. Very good. Bye-bye.
Kids, I hope you enjoyed that short clip about what obedience means. Now we're going to read you a verse from Ephesians chapter 6, 1 to 4. It says, "Children, do what your parents tell you. This is only right. Honor your father and mother is the first commandment that has a promise attached to it. Namely, so you will live well and have a long life. So this is our task for the week. Ephesians chapter 6, 1 to 4 is to honor your father and mother and to obey your elderly. So thanks for watching Sunday School. I'm going to now say a short prayer. Dear God, we hope that you can help us obey our father and mother and to obey other people older than us. We hope that you will look after us as we are at home during the coronavirus and that you will look after us. I ask all of this in your name. Amen.